Welcome back to the Beast Speak blog. This is a series where I tell you what the Beast has been saying to me and how I overcame it. If you don't know what I'm talking about, the Beast is your addictive voice, the AV and AVRT of rational recovery. If you can recognize that beast, then you can separate yourself from your urges, and that can result in immediate and lifelong abstinence. If you want to learn more about rational recovery or how to do AVRT, I'll link Virginia's story in the description box below. You can check that out. It's a good place to get started. You know, the more you believe a course of action is possible, the easier it is to act accordingly. I was reflecting on this idea the other day, and one of the things I like to do when I'm writing and thinking about things is to look up the etymology of the words that I feel kind of embody that idea. So I was researching the word confident. The FID in the word confident comes from the Latin root word fides or fides. I don't know how to pronounce that. And that same Latin root word gave birth to the English words faith and faithful. So if we have faith to something, we will be faithful to it. If we believe something, we will act in accordance with it. There's a story in the Bible of a widow woman who was left in debt after her husband died, and the creditors were coming to take her 2 sons into slavery for payment. She calls on Elisha, a prophet of God, and she asks him what she should do. And he asks her, "What do you have?" And she says, "Nothing but a small container of oil." And he tells her, "Go to your neighbors and get all the receptacles you can." She goes and does just that. Afterward, she's told to close her door, and her son should pour the small container of oil into the first vessel. Well, the oil never stopped running until all the receptacles were filled. She sold the oil and had enough to live off afterwards with her sons. It was her faith that caused her to go and secure all those containers. She got as many as she could. It was faith that moved her to act. Florence Scovel Shinn says, "Let preparation be your prayer." In this case, the widow let preparation be her proof of belief. You can prove false to your convictions by how you act, though. I came to a realization when I was facing procrastination the other day. I'm free to ignore that voice of resistance that comes every time my conscience urges me to do the right thing. I'm freed from obedience to that voice. I'm no longer a slave to its urges. Rational recovery opens your eyes to this. If after coming to my senses about that voice, I continue to obey that voice, I'm proving false to my beliefs. The more completely I believe I'm free, the easier it is to act in accordance with that belief. The Bible has many instances where the person's name gets changed. In the New Testament, you see Simon changed to Peter and Saul changed to Paul. That is to indicate that they've put on like a new personality. And nowhere is this more prominent than in the Old Testament story of Jacob. His name used to mean usurper. He was a trickster. He proved true to the name through tricking his brother Esau out of his birthright for a bowl of stew, and by dressing up to trick his father into blessing him as if he was the firstborn son. But later, after wrestling with an angel, God changed his name to Israel, which means one who struggles with God. We know that Israel had to fight to keep his new identity, though. It says while he was dying, Jacob laid in bed. But when he found out his son Joseph was coming to see him, Israel sat up. So change your name from slave to a free person. You cannot serve 2 masters. The stronger the belief that you are a free person, the stronger the stronger the will to be that free person. And when that voice of doubt comes, we know that it's the beast, deceiving you to get you to indulge in hedonism. Every time we disobey that beast, we're collecting receptacles for oil. strengthening what we know to be true and relying on our belief. I'm not a slave. I don't serve that master anymore. The cage is open. You're liberated from that voice. You don't have to obey it. Now act as if. That voice of resistance will hang on, but it's a test of faith. Ignore it and eventually it'll drop off. God proclaims we are free, and I'm showing my faith by not being a slave to hedonism. Rule yourself, defeat the beast. Thank you.